everyone. My name is Ruraniso Mashumba. I'm the Africa lead for the Global Farmer Network. Today, I'm excited to welcome you to this exciting webinar. It's a follow-on from our first No-Till webinar. And if you didn't get an opportunity to watch the first one, please follow through on our social media handles or on our website. Before I begin, I would like to share with you just a little bit about the Global Farmer Network. So the Global Farmer Network was established in 2000 by farmers with a focus to connect, empower, and mobilize farmers worldwide. Our membership is formed by 260 farmers. We represent male and female farmers from different countries, different farm sizes, and different types of farming. The mission of the Global Farmer Network is to amplify the farmers' voices by promoting trade, technology, sustainable farming, economic growth, and food security. We believe that the power and transfer of the Global Farmer Network webinars, such as today, with multiple approaches like collaboration, will bring great results to agriculture with the vast challenges that are faced today. Today, I would like to welcome you to this webinar, as well as welcome onto the stage Jorge Lopez, a very exciting speaker who has farmed in so many parts of Africa, such as Ghana, Guinea, Ivory Coast, Liberia, Sierra Leone, and Kenya. So our speaker who's coming on stage, he's also the co-founder of APRASEED Regional, one of the founders of APRASEED Regional Africa. He's also a member of the Global Farmer Network since 2022. He's a father, and he is committed to knowledge transfer and dissemination of information in Africa. So welcome, Jorge, to the stage. And just before, when we were discussing, one thing that he said is that 10 years from now, he'd like to see a different Africa. So Jorge, feel welcomed, and we're excited to hear what you have to share today on your journey into no-till farming. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. Well, thank you for the introduction. I will try to talk to you a little about my experience and what we are thinking about is happening in Africa. First of all, I want to describe the initial situation. I know that everybody knows a little bit what is happening in Africa, but I will have some points. Then we will discuss why we need this transformation. And at the end, I will try with my experience and talking with South America model, how we can do this. So let's start. Where are today? The starting point in Africa. Everybody knows that the big problem we have in Africa is hunger, for sure. Africa is having this problem, but at the same time, we know that we have 400 million of hectares that can be productive land, and only 10% of this is utilized. Imagine that my country, Argentina, have 40 million hectares of under production, and we are producing food for 450 million people, 10 times our population. So if we can do this in Argentina, why we cannot dream to do it in Africa too? The good news too is that the soils in Africa are amazing, and we have the potential to put them under production. We don't have a limitation there. And we have a problem that I think that is a big problem, that to be a farmer in Africa is synonymous of poverty. In my country, we are proud of the farmers, and that gives us an extra energy to find new technology, to find new solutions, to continue improving. And this is, I think, that we have to change in Africa. You can be a business guy being a farmer. For sure, the big problem of Africa is that we have lack of mechanization, no machinery, and lack access from the technology. At the same time, we have bad or difficult access to inputs, or even we cannot find some inputs that we need for some solution, some problems that happen there. And at the same time, when we have farmers without capital and we cannot link in the market. Let's see this number. I love this number. Imagine that a small farmer, have to walk near 250 kilometers to have a crop. So you can imagine the effort that is for a small farmer in Africa to produce and only for have the food for their family. So this, for me, is a really strong number. And the other strong number is that 1 hour of work of a farmer in US, it produces 800 kilograms per hour. And in Africa, we can only produce 10 kilograms. This is an enormous gap that we definitely have to be more near of the American farmer, not in the Africa for sure. These are really strong reasons for sure what we discussed before. But there are other reasons that why we have to start this transformation, and it's urgent in the correct way. So the technical situation that we can see in almost Africa, you have high temperatures, you have big rains, the farmers use grassland burning, and this is a combine that give us a big red alert. So the initial challenge, what are the initial challenges? Definitely in the first steps you put on the production new land, is a big risk at the same time. So if you not do it in the correct way, you can lose the topsoil that is vital. So if we lose this in the first moment we put on the production the new land, we make it in the bad way, we can lose things that can take decades to recover. So definitely the first steps are really, really strong, and we can have some. We can export some technologies of other places that being a success and don't make the same mistakes they make it in other countries. For sure, we have that opportunity too. So we have to create urgent actions for sure. So why I think, and we think the regional of Africa too, that no-till can help us a lot on this. There are a lot of technical things that is not time to discuss, but why is simple that no-till will work in Africa? For me, the most important thing is that no-till help you to intensify the system. And why is this the key? Because when you start intensifying the system, you start having solutions for the problems that we discussed before. We will stop burning the fields. We will have new crops. We will have new hybrids. We start the virtuous circle of more production, more money, more investment, more research, and starting again and again and again. And this happened in the countries that we will discuss after in South America. So intensification for sure. And this gives us the answers of the problems we discussed before. Why no-till? Again, sorry. Why no-till? The benefit of the systems. This is more technical. But if we can give a solution to farmers of their problems with intensification, with better production, better yields, and at the same time we reduce soil erosion, we increase organic material, we reduce fuel use. So we need less money to put under production the land, etc., etc., etc. We are talking again to start this virtual circus. So we believe that no-till is the answer. And I will give you two really strong examples. The first of all, when you start this system in Africa, the first thing I see in the soils that we go from 40 degrees of temperature in the soil to 15. So imagine who can live with 40 degrees? Nobody. So it's impossible in that soil to have life. And we have to start understanding that the soil is you have life there. A lot of microorganisms living there. So lowering the temperature is vital. So we have to to go there quickly. And how you do it? With no-till, you start covering that soil and you lower the temperature. So if you keep plowing, this is a situation in a dry season. If you don't have the correct rains, you will see the crops like that. So this no-till will help you a lot to have better crops in this situation where the rains was not the ones that you expect. And if you have a lot of rain, you will have this problem that you cannot go inside the plots with the machinery, and you will not plant in the correct season, and you will be late on all the things that you need to do in the plot. So in both situations, no-till give you some solution. And for sure, in the dry system of plowing, you will find that kind of soil that, like I said before, no life there, and well, no life in the soil with big problems. And in the other way, if you have a lot of rain, you will see that kind. You will lose the soil because of the strong rains. So in both situations, no-till give you tools to avoid them. Well, the first steps. Let's talk about first steps. We have to understand that it's not a magic solution. It's definitely not a magic solution. It's not a copy-paste. It's not only one thing. You have to understand the situation you are and then be creative and find solutions. No-till system give you a lot of tools. You have to choose which one you use in different scenarios. The first one, some generalities. Things that definitely have to happen. We have to move forward from subsistence farmers to commercial. It's definitely very, very difficult if we continue being subsistence farmers to move forward with the technology. And the urgent of a subsistence farmer is a problem for putting under production with new technologies, because they don't have money to invest, because the urgent of needing food, you cannot planify much more than there. So for me, it's really important to move to commercial farmers. The second thing, for sure, we have to take machinery, the correct machinery, to Africa. If we want to move to the new technologies that is happening all around the world, we will need modern machinery. And it's not going and throwing the machine and that's all. Definitely, we need to transfer the knowledge. So we have to go to their plots with the new machines and show them in their plots that the things can be done better. Farmers only believe when they see. So we need to show them in their farms. We cannot bring a video or whatever. We have to go to their farms, check the machinery, check the inputs, and show them how they can make it better. Another thing, for sure, we need to check new varieties. The varieties, hybrids, etc. we have in Africa are really old, and technology around the world find solution for a lot of things with the variety. So with information and new varieties, another step can be made. And let's start discussing something that for me is critical. That is the GM technology. Why GM will help us a lot on this situation and give us a strong tool. First of all, if we see the left graphic, we can see that when GM start in America appears, the quantity of hectares that put under production increase a lot, because the new tool gives solutions to places that were difficult to be produced. So it's a really strong tool for that. And in the right thing is that, for example, BT corn put until 0 to use insecticides for that. So imagine in Africa that they apply insecticides without security, without nothing, giving a lot of problems from the health of the people, of the farmers. Imagine if that farmers stop using insecticides. For that will be great. Two things that can help us. And the most important one, If you see there, my friend Eddie Alvarez from Philippines showed me these pictures. On the left hand, you have the BT corn. That if you can see, the production there is 0. And on the right hand, you see a BT corn, a GMO corn, where the production is going great. So again, imagine in a place that we have hunger, that we have big problems of feeding, why they cannot use this technology? I cannot find, after 10 years in Africa, I cannot find an answer for this. And the worst part of the history is that the population that cannot use GMO, they consume GMO, because the farmer cannot use the technology. But from where the food comes from countries that use GMO. So this is really, I cannot find an answer. It's a strong tool that farmers of Africa are losing. Let's talk a little bit about my experience. I choose 3 different countries, Kenya, Sierra Leone, and Ghana, because like I said before, you have different situations, and the system can give you tools for different situations, for different problems. First of all, learning for Kenya. What they are doing now in Kenya, in a place, Narok, that they make wheat. They are using the Australia system, I call, that they make land preparation 1 month before, and well, they use soil torturers. I call them like this. Definitely, the land preparation is strong. They go inside the plot 3, 4 times, 5 times, and they leave the soil really without coverage, like we can see in these pictures. And then they go inside with big planter machines, air drill planter machines. So the first thing is, yes, they are right. They have to use the small quantity of moments that they have between rains, that there are big rains, 3 or 4 days, big rains again, 3, 4. So they need big machines to plant quickly the big fields they have. So the diagnosis is correct, but the solution, I think, that can be another, because the problem there is they need to use that 2 days to plant all the plots they have. So what you find here, you find this, the erosion of the rain. This is really important, because if you see it's a correct crop, it's a nice wheat, but every single year they lose a lot of soil. So it's impossible to think here in 10 years to have the same crops, because they are losing the soil. And when you lose the soil, nothing will work there. So what solution we take there? We stop tearing. They give me a chance to try some places. We make chemical controls, and we start using no-till planting machine. And well, the first diagnosis that was small time you have, I opened this time, because no-till you can go faster inside the plot after rain than if you plow. So you have the quantity of time to plant, and at the same time you make better use of the water, and you avoid the erosion of heavy rains. Let's talk about Sierra Leone. Sierra Leone have large in-use expanses, big ones, and they only produce rice. So they eat rice, they need rice, so they only make rice. And you have an urgent problem that is really hunger, the problem. And the yields there was really low. So for sure, we take machinery there. And again, we intensify the system. We start to make some rotation. We take new varieties of rice and beans, and we put the new crop rotation that was maize. Why the importance of this? Because maize was the first cash crop they have. Before, they only produce for feeding, and we introduce maize so they can have a second crop that give them cash. So better yields in rice, another new crop, the virtual circle starts. And again, with intensification. Learning from Ghana. Ghana is in between Sierra Leone and Kenya with machinery, and again a lack of intensification. They don't have information. They don't have hybrids varieties that can fit in their moments. So we work a lot trying to have 2 crops a year. Was difficult to find information of rains from planting dates, etc. So here was really important extension. And the solution is looking for the best rotation. That is the key. We are working on that. It's not easy, but we have to find a way that the soil is green all the time of the year that we can, like happen in the nature. The soils have to be covered all the year. So how you do that? Intensification, a good rotation, and in the future, cover crops. Let's discuss a little bit about the South America model. I am not thinking about a copy-paste. I am thinking that the South America model, the start of the South America model that we can see today was really similar that the place that is Africa today. I didn't think that the Cerrados of Brazil are really different of the Africa fields. So definitely from the South America model, we can learn a lot. And the best news for me is that we can learn about the mistakes they make. So we have to find incentives. Why South America model go inside the virtual circles quickly? Because it was a economic incentive at the beginning. Better crops, places that were not farming, start farming, better yields, better rotations. So again, more production, more money, more interest in investing, and the possibility increase of start this virtual circus. And nowadays you can see that the farmer is the first guy that is interested of taking care about the soils. Why? Because they have experience of doing not the correct way. They lose the soil. You lose the soil, you lose your economy. You cannot produce again there. So when that happens, the business is dead. So definitely the farmer is the one that is more incentivized to make sustainability agriculture, because it's the best capital they have. And again, they make a lot of mistakes in South America, and that is a possibility of Africa. We can see the mistakes they make. We can take the best ones we can find here, and we can arrive to this situation. Places with 20, 30, near 40 now, some places of no-till plots, and the benefits increase year by year. Last year in Argentina was really a dry season without rains, and the yields were really a nice surprise, because the season was a disaster, and even because it was a disaster of the quantity of rains, the yields were not so bad. So the benefits of this system continue every single time, improving and improving. We are working in this moment in cover crops. We call not only cover crops, we call them crops that give us a service crops, because they help us to use less fertilizer, and that is better for sure, for mitigate the climate change and the sustainability agriculture. And at the same time, it's less money that we have to invest. So better margins, so it's a virtuous circle that everybody is have incentives to move forward. And I definitely think this. We have a big problem in Africa. We already discussed about this. We have a very risk of how we put these 40 million hectares under production. But the big but is that I think that in this problem, we have the solution. Definitely, farmers in Africa will become the climate heroes if we can make them produce in a sustainable way, and they can use all the technology that is working around the world. And definitely they will finish with hunger. They don't need help of other part of the world to send food. They can do it alone, and they can be the next supermarket of the world for sure. They can produce for them, and they can produce for more people than the population they have. And they can mitigate the climate change. For sure, they are going to be big players in the future on this because they have the possibility. They have the soils, they have the rains, they have the temperature. So the only thing that is happening is missing here is to take the technology that is working in other parts of the world, adapt that technology, find the answers of their problems, and can make this move forward. So here I finish, and I am open for all the questions you have. Thank you very much, and I'm ready for hear your question and find some answers more.
Thank you, Jorge. That was a very wonderful presentation, and I like the fact that you say that Africa can be the next supermarket of the world. We really do hope to do that. Thank you also for giving us a good overview of no-till, and also sharing your experience of being a farmer in Argentina, but now a global farmer, having farmed in parts of Africa, Sierra Leone, Ghana. But someone made a comment, when you talk about no-till, and people start to wonder about comparisons with other tillage, forms of tillage. And someone was asking on one of the platforms about, have you considered have you done a comparison with strip tillage, for example? Because they are saying that they feel like maybe when you do no-till, you will have problems with germination when the weather is really cold. What would you say to that? What would be your response to that?
Well, the temperature on the soils in Africa, we never have that problem for sure. In Argentina, yes, we have some problems sometimes, but the answer is to find the date of planting. If you need to move from the date that you want to plant to another, because you don't have the temperature, you can wait and find hybrids that are shorter, or we believe on that. We have some problems of when you have a lot of brush on the topsoil, and we find different solutions. For sure, the machinery industry give us a lot of answers of that. For the example, they remove the brush from the line of planting, or we can find other, but plowing or disturbing the soil, I show a lot of pictures. It's a lot of biography to find. You can find a lot of examples. What you are losing, you lose a lot more than some problems of germination, or we can find another answer for that. But if you continue plowing, harrowing the soils, definitely you are, for us, the no-till farmers, it will be a big problem in the future, even in the same season. So, and a big thing is it's not magic. So it's not that you start today and you see the benefits tomorrow. You can see early benefits, but we have to be patient. I know that at least in Africa, you have urgent. You cannot wait. but the system need a little bit patient. And well, in Kenya, we have, for example, a dry season the first time we do it, and the results was amazing. So for me, it was easy to tell them, you see, you have better yields with no-till system, you use less fuel, etc., etc., etc. So at the other year, everybody was making no-till. In the other way, Ghana, we have good rains, and when you have good rains at the beginning, maybe the yield is better when you harrow. Why? Because more nitrogen is available for that. But this as a shorter vision. If you go inside the system, 2, 4, 3, 4 years, you will be in another step, and you can avoid big rains. You can have better use of the water, and if it is a dry there, you will have better yields. If it are strong rains, you will use all the rain. So well, it's like this.
Okay, so we have another question here from our viewers on LinkedIn. It says you should please suggest the most efficient and easy to learn modern machines and technology that can be used for practicing no-till. Before you answer, I want to share a little about my experience with no machines. So no-till, we've done it with no machines. Strike the ground and put a seed. And so, don't put it too deep, so it's really a technology that can be adapted, versatile. But Jorge, please share with us what you think would be the most efficient, easy to learn modern machines and technology that can be used for no-till in Africa.
Yes, like I say in the presentation, for me, Africa situation is not so different of the Cerrados or Chaco Paraguayo or north of Argentina at, I think, let me say 25 years ago. So, and was the same problem. Small farmers, no capital to invest. The farms were there without production, subsistence farmers. And I invite everybody to come and see. And the best news is that the machines improve a lot. So Africa jumped 20 years before. So I think that how you can learn and use modern machines and technology now is better. And we can find small machines. We can find a lot of presentation or congress around the world to see a machine. Well, that is not so easy. But again, the best way is to take the technology to their farms. That's, for me, was really strong. When you can take the technology to their farms, not showing a video or teaching with a webinar or whatever, that makes the difference. When you take the technology to their farms and teach them there, for me, that is really strong. When they see that their farms have that situation, better yields, the technology is not difficult to use at all. It's more difficult to understand the system, but the machine is not so difficult. And again, if you want to see results before taking the decision of buy a machinery or have the opportunity of buy the machinery, like you say, you can make it. You can find a way with creativity. So I think that the way to help is the most efficient is to take the machinery to their plots. But I know that it's not easy, but it's a way. I know that it's not easy. If we were easy, Africa would be in another place quickly.
Thank you for that. Thank you for those answers. And that really is one of the challenges with Africa. You said it's not copy and paste. So if you're trying to get machinery, it might not be the big machines in Argentina that will work best. And so we are really all thinking about creative ways to come up with machines that we can tailor and make use of here. Also, you talk about no-till being a system. I know that everybody who is a no-till farmer anywhere in the world tells you it's not a copy and paste, not quick fix, it's a system. And this system involves both the tillage and the cover crops and everything. And so someone is asking from Zimbabwe, it says, what are the best cover crops that they can use? What are your suggestions?
I like this question. It's a lot of discuss in South America for sure. I like to call them service crops. I think that crop is not only cover crops. They can give you a service that will impact in the next crop. So we take a lot to Ghana to try. It's not easy to find what it was working because I believe that you need to measure a lot of things that is not easy. You can do it in Brazil, in Argentina, because you have universities, science community watching all the time which is the best, how to do it in date of planting, with variety. But the only way is to choose some and start trying and take someone that is in the similar situation, the temperatures, the rainfalls. So, for example, Zimbabwe maybe can take some cover crops that are working in the north of Brazil. There are plenty. I don't want to say only one because, again, it's not a copy paste. It's not easy to find the correct one. But a service crops can give you a lot of service. The most important in Africa for me is to lower the temperature on the soil. For me, that is the first step at all. Again, we measure the temperature of the soils without crops and was 40 degrees and more. Some dates was 45, 46, 47. So imagine there, nothing can live for sure. Nothing. Believe me, nothing. So the first thing that we have to get from a cover crop is to lower the temperature. And the second thing, well, I love when you can use less nitrogen in the field. That is a win-win situation for everybody. Less invest, better for using, consume all the energy that we need to make the urea. So that two things in a service crops, I'm looking of that. So again, sorry, but I cannot give you a straight answer. You have to find it your own, in your place, in your plot. Even it's not the same inside the country. So in Africa, it's not the same. You have different countries. In the country, you have different regions. In the different region, you have different plots. So every single one have to find the correct one in there. That's
okay. I think I'm glad that you said that also, because with cover crops and service crops for us in Africa, it's sometimes you will have to terminate the crop. And so for many farmers, especially smallholder farmers, they'd be thinking, why do I plant a crop and then I'm not going to use it? And so one of the things that we were using was cowpea, because the black-eyed beans grows very broad. It does cover the entire crop, and you can actually only pick out the pods. You take you remove the beans
and you can have some, sorry.
Yes.
You can have some nitrogen there. And I tell you, and I always say, the first thing is intensification, because maybe at the beginning, I understand that urgent action. The farmer will not plant something that didn't give you cash or food. Mm-hmm. So that is an amazing solution you find. Mm-hmm. The first thing we have to make is intensify the product, the system. In the nature, you never see the plot, the place without life, without green. We always call here in Argentina always green. We want to, because we are copying the nature. The nature never works without nothing. Mm-hmm. So definitely intensifying the production is the first step. Then you can start thinking about cover crops, because I understand that this is urgent. We need food. We need cash in the farms. So the first thing is let's intensify first, and then we start thinking about cover crops. I believe on that. I understand your farmers that you are working.
Yes, thank you. And that's really very important for us to understand that we can actually start no-till and intensify, and then we can now begin to think about service or cover crops, which is value added. But one of the things that you said that really struck me was the temperature of the soil, because Africa is very hot. Many parts of the world, our colleagues in India are online. India is hot. There are places in Australia that are hot. So I think when we think about soil and growing seed, put seed, and we don't really think about the fact that the temperature there is really, it needs to be we need to cool it down so that the crop can do really well. So thank you for highlighting that also. We have another question. It says, this question is saying that in countries where no-till is already practiced, so there are many countries where some people, but it's not so widespread, right? They said, who should take the technology to the farmer? Who should be responsible? Should it be government? Should it be private sector? Should it be donor organizations? Who is supposed to? Because we know that this is such an important tool for farmers. And we are talking about that the world, we are hungry everywhere. We need more food. Who is responsible for this? Who should take this technology to the farmers? Should it be the government? Should it be private sector? Should it be donors? So someone wants to know, who should be responsible?
Well, this is a difficult question because I am not the government. I would like to be, but I'm not the government. But I believe in.
From your perspective in Argentina, who took the technology to the farmers?
No, definitely here was a farmer solution. We were in a difficult moment of the country, and some crazy farmers start thinking how we can do it better. So the incentive idea was that they were in a big problem because money was not there, farming was not a good business, the food was needed, they were living in the farm, and they need to find a solution. And the solution were, I think that were 15 or 16 crazy guys that start the no-tilling system. And because the fuel was really expensive, because the prices of the crops were really, really low, and so the question is good. I think that Africa needs for sure help. We, like all the world, have to help. And again, I tell you at the last of the presentation, there is a solution. In Africa is a solution for feeding and from climate problem, mitigate climate change. Definitely we have a big opportunity there. The world have to understand that you have an opportunity there. So I don't believe in prohibit like they are doing in some places. No, let's prohibit farming, or no, that is really not a solution at all. I think that farmers are part of the solution and not part of the problem. So I think that's why we work a lot on the global farmer, that we have to teach or even to start telling our reality, because the people that are taking decisions are not farmers. That is a big problem. And again, the farmer is the first one that is interested to keep their farms' productivity, because it's the way they live. Imagine in Africa, the only thing they have, some farmers, is the piece of land to produce their food. So they will be the first interest guy to keep the soil. So I think that farmers can give answers to them. And well, if we have support of governments, of people, of philanthropic people, or whatever, it's important when we get that, because government and some philanthropic people and private sector is taking technology to Africa. But we have to be clever, because we have small chances. If you don't give them that you are working in a solution, and when they give you the technology, you show results, it's difficult to. It's not possible every single year to have help. We need a small push, and the system start working. So the farming have to be prepared to receive that help. When the farmer receives that help, stop asking for help. Start working and be. You can do it alone for sure. We don't need help all the life.
Thank you, Jorge. And I think also, that is the core of what we're doing. where farmers taking it to farmers. That's the core. So whether we get along the way, we will definitely get support from government, from other organizations, but the core of what we're doing is farmers taking it to farmers. So that is really important. But also, I wonder, someone wants to know, in India, do you have experience with BT with growing cotton under no-till? Is it possible to plant cotton with no-till?
I don't have experience in cotton. Because I'm a farmer and I like to see, I went a lot of times to farms of cotton and I see and I try to learn. I never plant. And for sure in Argentina, they are doing great. And the cotton, the good thing is a good rotation for the system. It's a crop that is a cash crop. And after the cotton, you will have amazing land prepared to do corn, to do sunflower, to do soybeans. And you have BT and herbicides. Well, for sure, BT is a big thing for cotton. It's like corn. You can lose all your crop. And imagine if you invest a lot and you lose a crop, finish of the discussion. So for sure, it will be an amazing tool, and definitely you can do it in no-till.
Okay, so the other thing that I wanted to also say there is very, very, very important, because you also mentioned it, the link between the BT and the BT and no-till. It complements, they complement themselves. So we're running a bit out of time and we're getting quite a number of questions, so we'll try to hit them fast as we go through. Okay, so we have another question that says, how can smallholder farmers start with this? I want to say my experience, you can start, because in these parts of Africa, many farmers normally plant directly in the ground. And they feel it's because they cannot afford tractors. So it's the cost. And truly, that's something we must take away from this, that no-till saves a lot of cost. So the plow, the harrow, and here we ridge, 3 operations you take away, and you go straight to plant. So how can smallholder farmers start with this?
I believe on what you are saying, and for me, the Argentinian system that find the solution for that is cooperation. So one farmer cannot buy a tractor of $100,000, but if you are 20 farmers, you can, or you are more near. So first of all, you have to work together. So if you have a small plot of 2 hectares and beside you is another small farmer with 2 hectares, so let's start working together. Let's be more efficient. In Argentina, you can pay for the service because the system have evolution. So the farm produce, call the planter machine. I want to plant on Monday. The planter machine come. I need to. Well, in US they share in the combines, for example. So it's a problem all around the world. It's not only small farmers. You have expensive machine, so you need to use the more that you can. Is the amortization is better. In all the scales is like that. So another benefit of the intensification is that the same planting machine, you plant corn, then you plant soybeans, you plant beans, you plant cotton, you start using wheat. So you buy one machine, you can make 3 planter seasons a year. So you have to be creative. I think, again, if the government give you a help, be creative. Don't find buy one tractor and use 20, 30, 50 farmers. That's the way.
Okay, so I want to just also highlight what you've been saying, intensification, because for some of our farmers listening, they might not quickly understand what you mean. But what it means is that no-till allows for intensification of our production system. So because you are not spending time to plow, harrow, and ridge or whatever, it means that you take a crop of corn as you are finishing the corn. So I've seen where in Argentina, some of the farmers, the harvester is going with corn and something is following it right behind. So that's the intensification we're talking about. So that way you have more cropping in one season. Now someone is talking about, can no-till work for all crops? So they are highlighting examples. Can it work for rice paddy? I will answer yes. We actually even have a collaboration with our no-till farmers in our rice farmer in India, who is doing something called SRT. So it's direct seeding. I know you don't grow rice much in Argentina, so you might not be, able to say, but you are growing rice in Sierra Leone. And he gave us that example that in Sierra Leone, they're doing no-till rice. So they're asking no-till rice, cassava, yam. Have you tried any of those with no-till?
Yes, I always try. I have to say that in some crops it's not easy. We believe that maybe at the beginning it's not the moment. You can make sustainability agriculture not no-till. You have to find how to manage the water. Again, for me, it's really important to have all the time the soils with life. No-till, especially in rice, is a big challenge. In Argentina, they are near to do it, but rice need to manage water very, very well. So some cases you need, or the combine, when you go inside to harvest, you destroy the soil because of the combine. So I am not, how do you say, I cannot move from the line. I know that our situation that sadly you have to find the solution because you need the rice, you need food, and for the farmer the first thing is to produce food. Mm-hmm. So you have to be creative. They are working a lot in Argentina in that. I know in Brazil too. And again, if you find a good rotation, it helps a lot. That is the challenge of finding in the rice farms. You have to find the rotation. That is the most important thing. If you can do soybeans, you start doing a great no-till system with rice.
Great. Okay, and then they say, what are the basic necessities? You've said that in your question of growing rice. You need to be creative. You need a lot of, water management and so on. But rice does grow but yam and cassava, though, have you tried it? Yam
no.
Or cassava? No. I know that tuber crops need a little bit more room to move and for size, so that needs a lot more research to be able to say, how those would fare with no-till. We also had another question. How do you combat insect infestation if you are using no-till? So is there any special, how do you deal with insects?
The first answer is let us use GMO for sure. That is a big problem. It's really sad to continue discussing this. I see plots in Ghana that apply 7 times insecticide. And believe me, the way they apply, they are having a lot of healthy problems. Imagine a mother doing like this with their children in beside the plot, and they have to go inside and apply, because if not, they lose the crop. I see the photo of Eddie Alvarez, my friend of Philippines. You lose a crop. It's not, no, you have a little bit less yield. You lose the crop. Imagine in Africa, in a place that they need the food. Imagine a farmer that lose the crop. It's a big problem. It's not that they lose only money. It's a big, big problem. And I don't understand why. Well, you are fighting a lot in Nigeria, I know. We are fighting a lot in Africa. And we are having some first steps. And for me, it will be amazing if we win that battle and they leave us to use the new technology. Not only GMO, the new technology will go there with them.
Yeah, I think we're also making huge strides. Last week, we got released the first BT corn in sub-Saharan Africa. So we're making strides really quick. And so,
and we discuss a lot of intensification. And for me, that describes everything. And you need GM to intensify the system. You need them. It's is the key. When Argentina and Brazil start using tolerant herbicides, soybeans, the production explodes, and we were all happy about that. And we start being really efficient. Imagine Argentina produce food for 10 times their population. So imagine if Africa can do that. It will be great. Next 10 years, we have to change Africa. We already discussed about that. But I believe that it's possible, for sure.
Thank you very much, Jorge. This has been an amazing session. You have done, a lot of taking us many places, and I know that people listening have a lot of food for thought. To bring us to a close, I want to call back my regional co-lead for Africa. Suru Ramiso and I are co-lead for Africa. Suru Ramiso will come and take us to the close.
Thank you very much, Patience, and thank you very much, Jorge. Wow, like as a farmer, I was glued to the screen. So much to learn, so much valuable information, all the way from Argentina to our farms. So many comments, very interesting and, important conversation. This has been amazing. Again, thank you. And just to let the listeners know, this is recorded, so you can also share with your co-farmers, colleagues, who would also want to take part in this. And you can still drop comments even after. Lots of comments have been coming through. We've been failing to reply to every single comment, but we are committed to replying to you. So you can always comment afterwards, and we will try our best to reply to you. And again, I would like to let you know that so much is happening on this platform. We have other webinars that are coming of very important conversations. Soon we'll be having a webinar in the next month on markets, which is also a very important topic in Africa. So please follow us on our website, follow all our social media platforms to find out more. And again, thank you very much to Patience, who really kept the conversation going and tried her best to answer as many questions as possible. And Jorge, oh wow, that is such amazing. I've learned a lot today, and I'm going with this back to the farm to educate more people and to see the Africa we want to see. I'm inspired to know that Argentina 20 years ago was where we are today, and this is possible. We can change our farming. Let's not give up hope. We can continue innovating, researching on the latest technologies that can help us get those yields and become more profitable as farmers. So thank you again, and I close right now and hope to catch up on our next webinar in middle of February. So goodbye and have a good day.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.